What's going on, everyone? My name is Impulse, and welcome back to Hermitcraft. Today's a very exciting day because today we're going to do all the renovations to Metro Mayhem and reopen for Season 2. I got a long list of things I want to do. But first up, I mentioned holding on to this trophy for JoJo in case JoJo made a return as a guest on the server, and you guys had some good ideas in the comments. Said, you know, should probably pop it in here with JoJo Jr. Shabadoo. Yes, hi, our resident information office person. And there you go. Trophy's sitting in there waiting for JoJo. If JoJo is able to make it back on the server at any point in time as a guest, then JoJo can have the trophy. Anyway, let's get down in here because I've done a lot actually already. I've cleaned this place up, as you can see, nice and tidy, and no more lost and found. I figured, you know what? If hermits want to leave their stuff as they log out and maybe want to log back in later, they shouldn't have to worry about it too much. And so I made this locker room, which has every single hermit that's on the server, and they can put their stuff away in here. Also, of course, got a place to set spawn. Didn't realize it was actually nighttime, but here we are. And then if they want to min-max the course and reset their saturation, they can hop into the respawn chamber, which is just a soul campfire. They'll die pretty fast in this, and then they can pick up their items because it doesn't burn in the fire, but I also did do a hopper into this just in case it's needed. But there you go. That should allow people to leave their stuff and not have to worry about it. Oh my gosh, see? I left my stuff already. I've already left my mess. A whole bunch of materials that we're gonna need as we start making modifications to the course. In fact, I can't even carry all this. What am I supposed to do? I'll just grab as much as I can. Anyway, like I said, I've got a long list of things that I need to do, and I'm just gonna go through the course in order here. So one thing I mentioned last episode is I do really like the train. However, there was one part of the train that was bugging me just a little bit, and that was that nobody was really trying these side paths. I thought for sure people would maybe try going left or right of the train, and once people decided that top of the train was the best way to go, all these things were never really given another go. So I tried to make the top a little bit more challenging, basically adding cobwebs in places. Look, there's extra cobwebs so that we're not doing that, you know, fighting to get through the cobwebs every single time. And I removed the randomness of one back there so that people might be more enticed of going up and over, but then from this point, probably jumping down and maybe doing something with this parkour here. Oh, hello, Elytra, you didn't help me. And actually, this is fairly difficult of a jump, but if they can jump down and nail this part, we've got a bit of this parkour over here that I didn't really see anybody attempting to do. So now I'm kind of hoping that like once they hit these cobwebs here, and if that's not open to get through automatically, that they will jump down and actually do this bit of parkour, which is kind of fun. Of course, if they mess up, they can always get back on the train. Also, I tried to make the right side of the train a little bit more enticing by adding just a couple stairs in. So this part feels a little bit better getting through because I found myself not having a lot of fun trying to trudge through that water. But if you get the jumps just right, you can probably get through there pretty quick, a lot better than I just did, and then you can get back in the train and potentially just go right back on top here, which is a straight shot. So a couple more options that hopefully will get people thinking and having to decide what's the best path. And that's kind of the goal for some of these remodels, this renovation of this course, is just to change things up enough to get the hermits to start wondering if their old path was still the best way or if there's a new, better way to do it. I changed up this jump just a little bit, so now we've got single iron bars to jump onto, and the hermits will have to figure out the best strategy for getting across those cleanly. So again, just a little minor tweak that's going to make things feel a little bit differently. And now we're getting to the bigger changes. In the water swimming section, we need to do something about that shortcut because it wasn't super great to see hermits just relying on it to be open, especially when they're, you know, min-maxing and trying to like literally shave off a nugget or two. This could be a run killer, and it was all based on randomization, whether or not this door was going to be open. So right now, it's actually open. I took the blocks out just to kind of come in here and see what I wanted to do. But yeah, I think what we're going to do instead is, instead of this being a randomized open-close kind of thing, I'm going to just actually open it up. And instead of being just a honey walkthrough that requires no skill, I'm going to actually make it so that it requires some skill to take this shortcut. And if you fail your skill jumps, then it's going to cost you, which is exactly the vibe I want to go through for a lot of these changes. I'm going to dig this out a little bit and probably take out this door, and then we get to design a little parkour. And I didn't mean to rhyme, but I guess that's fine. All right, modifications have been made to the shortcut. And I think it's definitely still a shortcut. However, it's hard. Candle parkour. Yeah, Yep, candle parkour is always very, very challenging. In fact, I don't think I can do this one. Um, uh, Yep, it's very easy to fall off. And if you do, you've got the honey walk of shame, and then you've got to climb a ladder to get up and back into the course. So I'm thinking that this should be slower if you fail it, and a lot faster if you can succeed these jumps, which I got a feeling some of the better parkour people, not me obviously, will be able to nail that no problem, but I still think it's going to take some skill, and if you've got the skill, you deserve to shave off a bit of time. So I think this is a good alternative to what we had before. All right, next part I'm going to make a little bit of modification is the slime tunnel. I'm not going to do much in here. I think it's pretty good. However, it was pretty easy to just kind of go through here and do a bit of a straightaway. So I'm going to add maybe just another bit of rubble to make them kind of skirt around. And one thing that Etho mentioned to me was that sometimes it was not very satisfying when you just mistimed coming through here and you've got Goozer here right up in your face. And so basically he said, if we just move these back a few blocks, that'll give that extra space that you don't get hit coming out. You can actually have a chance to start jumping over these guys. And one thing I put in that nobody used was the beacons. And maybe that's just nobody ever spotted them. Or maybe they found out, you know, it's not worth their time to hit that and then get that jump boost to jump over the slime. I thought they would actually need it to successfully jump over the slime. But no, if you timed it right, you found out that you can get through without that jump boost. So probably don't necessarily need that beacon, to be honest. So as long as I'm moving that whole wall back, I'll probably just remove that mechanism altogether. Bit of a waste of time, but that happens sometimes when you're playing a game. Sometimes what you think might be good isn't good, and sometimes you get lucky in other parts that you think maybe aren't going to be that great, and they turn out fantastic. All right, a couple changes made here. We've got this dripstone bit, which is pretty easy to get past, but it is requiring you to do a little jump and actually make it in between a couple of dripstones here. Otherwise, you get caught up just a little bit, as I just demonstrated. So that's nice. Test a little bit of skill there. And then obviously the left side has got this water to avoid. So it kind of forces you to work your way through this. I moved all of these up just a little bit. The interesting thing is now that the skulk sensor is closer to these, which means that's going to flip these as you get right to them. So it could trip some people up there. But the nice part is now you get on the other side of this and you actually got a little bit of buffer, like a couple blocks before you need to worry about starting to jump over the slime, which is something that Etho expressed was a bit of a nuisance. So I need to add the water back in to finish this up, but I want to experience this with the actual wind charges. So I think if I go here, yes, we have our chest. Oh, did that just make it into the, wait, there we go. I was going to say, we could just set it off and get that back. But let me find my wind charges here, and I've been AFKing a little bit. I don't have a ton. This is as much as I have, but let's put this in and see how it feels. All right, wind charge is in. Here's our test run. We're coming along. We hop over this. I got caught up a little bit. Not good. That opens up. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then you got plenty of time to judge the slime jumps. I really hate to do this, but these turtles keep setting off the wind charges, and that is not good. So I'm just going to have to go ahead and relocate them. All right, sadly, I had to relocate them to a sanctuary, but they are doing just fine. Let's go ahead and put away our wind charges here. Actually, I want to put some back in the system so we can continue to test this, make sure it wasn't the water or something else setting this off as we come through. Seems like we are good now. It's just us that's setting it off. And it's about when we get to this water right here, I think. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Sometimes it doesn't flip everything. That's kind of cool. All right, I think we're good there. I like this. I think that was a good change. All right, no change here. I think the slime jumping was actually pretty fun. And this part's just kind of a nice little break before some of the more madness of the wind tunnel. So speaking of the wind tunnel, I really like the jump pattern that's in here. There's not a lot I want to change about this. However, I do want to just change things around just a little bit so that they have to relearn the jumps. So I think in here, all I'm going to do is just swap around some of these blocks, make slight changes to make sure it still feels good. All right, shifted a few blocks around. I think it feels pretty good. There's a lot of challenging jumps, including that one straight away, a 1, 2, 3, 4 block jump from that to that. That's a tough one. However, I've given options. If people don't want to do that, they can always do an extra little jump there, which makes this one a lot easier. So I try to incorporate strategies like that. Same thing here. We can do an easier jump here and go there, or we can go for another 4 block jump. So if you're really nailing those 4 block jumps, it could be worth it. This one is just going to be a challenge. I mean, it's only a 3 block, but I didn't give any other options there. So I think the Hermits can probably nail that one, it being only 3 blocks, although it is nice to have momentum going into that. Otherwise, it can be a little bit challenging. But yeah, these are easy. These are nice and fun. That's tough right there, but I think people will get it, just like, I mean, I just did. And then once we get past this middle part, I've shifted things off to the left now instead of the right. And the same idea here. We can take this tough 4-block jump there, or we can skirt along this way, do extra jumps if we feel like we need to. And then I've done a few shorter jumps. I know they're in a row, which makes it kind of easy. What I like about this is it is easy because you can just literally hop across super easy like that. Don't even really need to think about it. Or if you like, you could go to the right off of this and you've got bigger jumps, which I think if you can nail these jumps will actually save time in the long run. So there we go. Feeling pretty good about those changes. I'm going to keep moving. This was a tough one because people were going to the left and they found a way to get through this if you do it just right. I think what I'm going to do is, sorry, we're going to make it a little bit harder. In fact, yeah, like actually really hard. I think there's a good way to get through here if you jump, duck, maybe, and get it just right. But that is a lot tougher now to go that way. Now, if we go to the right side, it's still pretty easy. But because you've gone right, now you've kind of made your course a little bit longer instead of trying to cut through and cut the corner there. However, I think I'm still going to make this a little bit more challenging as well. So there we go. I kind of cut off the right side the same way. There is a way through, but you tend to hit the water. So it's going to be nice to see what people do. I mean, there's a chance now that people might just resort to swim moding through that, which could be kind of fun to see. Okay, so as we come around this corner, we're going to run into this kind of like fallen beam here that's kind of cutting across. This one's actually fairly easy because you can run straight under it. In fact, you can use it as a little head hitter if you want to gain some speed. This one, however, you got to choose. Do you want to go up and over the left side of it? And the only real option here is to kind of go in between these two dripstone, or do you want to kind of cut over and then do the same thing and go under it here with the head hitters? So I'll leave that choice to the runners to decide whatever works better for them. And then I'm going to leave this open. I do like having just a little bit of reprieve before you have to like start running and jumping and avoiding objects. Just a little bit of a breather to, and appreciate the scenery that Cleo did here. As we get into this part, the water leaks, I think is absolutely fine. I think this is a lot of fun trying to dodge these and pick up your free souvenirs along the way. And then we get to the little water treatment area, which is definitely something I want to shake up a little bit because once people started figuring out how to go to the right here, I think that really separated the top runs from kind of the middle of the pack if you could make this jump. So I think my plan there is to add an extra layer of difficulty. If you do make that jump, I'm going to test you one more time if you want to actually get a shortcut out of this. Whereas if you go this way, you can basically just hit this jump, which I just missed. Need to be doing it on the run, I think. Let me see if I still remember how to do this. Jump, jump, jump. Perfect. Yeah, if you hit this jump, then you'll also be rewarded, but not as heavily as if you get the tough jump and then another tough jump that I'm going to put in right here. And then we're going to open this up and make a nice, cool shortcut through the Season 1 area. All right, skipping ahead, Cleo's currently working on their section here of the Season 2 plot, and a lot of cool changes happening. But Cleo's not quite done, so not going to go over those just yet. But I have changed around the boombox jumps just a little bit, and they're harder now. So I removed a slab here, and now this jump is super difficult. It's doable. I've pulled it off once. So if people want to go for that still, they obviously can. But, I thought I had it. But there is another route that they can go, which is also not easy, and that's this way. So you got to kind of like Neo around that block just a little bit. So it's pretty exciting because it's telling me how much skill it's actually going to take to get up there. There we go. I finally pulled it off while talking. And then, of course, if Hermits are struggling with that, they can always go up the ladder and still climb the vines and get over that way. Now, I already, I think I went over this with you guys that False has come through and made it so there's no way to get back on top like they were doing before to go over this entire area. So now, hopefully, people will either use this shortcut to get through there, or if they don't want to risk going through the shortcut, they can always go around the long way here. So now that False's plot has been redesigned, we can come through here as originally intended, get our piece of pizza, and now we've got a couple options here. We can fall down and do the switchbacks as I originally designed. We can do a little candle parkour, which I made a couple routes. If you go this way, it's kind of easy and you can get down there. You only really skip one switchback though, so I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it. However, we can go this way as well, and I don't know if I could make this jump, Okay, yes, I can. There's that jump. And then, can we make this one? Huh! Yes. And then this one. Yes, and then up onto the tree, and then we have the ability to kind of go where we were before as we were skipping past False's section, and we've skipped quite a few switchbacks there, and then I think, yeah, left is where we go. So there's a couple routes there to take. I have also added another option for those that don't want to do the candle parkour, which I don't blame them. If they want to fall down here, there's another option back here, a little secret, that you can climb up the back of the tree on like the inside of the trunk, I guess, using these water columns, and this is doable. I struggle with this one, but I could definitely see some of the, you know, more movement skilled players getting through that no problem. You know, Etho, Cub might actually figure out that that way is actually faster than doing the candle parkour. I'm not sure, but I'll let them figure it out. So this section I would say is done. I'm thinking about putting up a glass wall between False's plot and the tree plot, just in case somehow somebody pulls something off to figure out how to get up and over that, because once they do, that becomes the way. And I don't really want that. I want them to actually have to come through that and make their choices on which route they want to take once they get to the tree. So yeah, I'll probably grab some glass and just wall that up, and that would 100% prevent people from going the way I don't want. All right, then as we get to the end of the tree, I did turn off Hermit Gang. I'm gonna do something different with the music. I found out that people were maybe getting a little bit sick of Hermit Gang because of how much they were coming through here. So yeah, that's out. We'll just probably loop the cyber rail track, but I'll get to that in a minute. I do want to take out this bit, and I think what I'm going to do is, I don't think there's any way they're making that jump if we take out this rear view mirror. Kind of sad to lose that detail on the RV, but that will definitely ensure that there's no way to go. I don't think there's any way to jump from here to there without that. So that takes care of that, which means people will be back to going up this route as their number one choice. And honestly, for this room, I think that's going to be enough. And I've had graffiti. The license plate says Cub was here. Perfect. All right, moving into season 7. Tango has already made some changes, as I showed before. One thing that was pointed out to me by Etho was that fire tick damage, and using basically the fact that you're on fire and it's giving you damage to hop over walls you shouldn't be able to hop over is still going to be a thing. So I went ahead and just covered all these fires with glass so you can't actually get damaged by them now. And that should hopefully prevent it. Now you should be able to take the parkour paths that Tango intended to get up and over this thing, and you have to do this legit now. So that is solved, and that also means that through Ren and Doc's section, you'll have to do the sneaky bit, which they were hoping people would be doing. Here, I'll just use my Elytra hop to get over this wall. So yeah, basically you get through here, you got to start like crouching in certain spots. I have Swift Sneak on, so we're coming through pretty fast. But yeah, if you don't crouch properly, this closes and you get stuck for a while. So there's a whole thing that people are going to have to learn now to get through here. And hopefully there's no other shortcuts and ways up over the top like there was before that's not anticipated. Pearl section still needing the Ravager put in, but I think Pearl will be able to get that done before we open up. And that's basically it for all the changes that we want to do. There's a few little secrets I didn't show you. I want to hold back some surprises for when people start doing runs for you to find out. But now I get to move on to something that's going to actually take more time than all of that. We're going to add a whole nother mode to this thing, the scavenger hunt. So initially my idea was that we're going to use some of those Easter egg type things that you've seen inside of Pearl's decked out recreation, and they were hidden Easter eggs inside of decked out. But we don't have every character this season. We've also got Joel and Skiz who've joined it that I don't have models for, and unfortunately just ran out of time in order to get that done. So instead, I'm just going to hide golden eggs. Here we go. That's the golden egg. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a bunch of these and put them in dispensers for people to find. And I'll label them one of however many we hide. And I haven't figured out that yet. So I'm going to go through, figure out where to hide these and make little stations throughout. And it'll be a collect them all game. Okay, hidden throughout the Metro Mayhem course are 20 different droppers with, well, they're going to have these eggs in them. I have to label them 1 of 20, 2 of 20, and so on, all the way to 20. And the object is obviously the Hermits need to find all 20. There'll be a special reward if they happen to do so. Now, I was going to start to implement some sort of system that would time them and they only had X amount of time whilst doing the scavenger hunt. I was thinking that would be a good idea to make sure that they don't clog up the game hunting for these scavenger items while other people are waiting. But I did realize there's probably no way to really mandate that. A lot of times I noticed the Hermits would like to go through and kind of pick apart the course and stuff. And I don't want to prevent that in any way by acting like they're not supposed to be in there for more than, 5 minutes at a time or something like that. So I'm going to allow them to just, wander around and that's fine. That was kind of the whole point. I want them to explore the map and see all the beautiful details that have been done in every part of the course. But one thing that was bugging me in Season 1 was the fact that some people got so fast the music was overlapping. We had the Cyber Rail music from Jono, which is absolute fire when you start the race. And then it was still playing when they got to the Hermit Gang part of Season 6. We can't have that. That was like sensory overload when that was happening. Plus, I think some people were probably getting sick of Hermit Gang. So I am going to go ahead and fix that record system right now. And basically, Cyber Rail is just going to be on a loop until they finish. And hopefully in the meantime, more pumpkins will grow, because I got a lot of these to hide. I've been farming like a madman. Finally have all the pumpkins I need and got them in the egg models and named them all. So we've got all the way to 20 in here. I ended up going with just 32 of each. I think that should be fine as long as not too many Hermits take more than one. We should have plenty for everybody. So I just need to go hide them all, which I obviously can't show you guys because, again, I don't want you spoiling the locations of these. All 20 eggs have been hidden, and I gotta tell you, some of them are gonna be very tough to find. I'm curious to see if the Hermits actually find all of them. I wanna show you guys something else I've done. I mentioned earlier I was gonna take Hermit Gang out of the rotation of the audio that plays during this, and instead what I've done is I've created a loop. So basically when we hit the button here, it's gonna start playing the disc that plays the Cyber Rail music, which is what you guys are used to hearing at the beginning, and that's just gonna continue to repeat until they actually leave, or potentially hit this press button to reset race. So I can demonstrate that now. We press that. There's the music kicking in. Nuggets are being calculated at the moment. And then I've made it so that if the race ends, it stops. There we go. That was the fastest time ever, 33 nugs. So hidden away in the center of Metro Mayhem's map is this little device here that I got from Michael2_3B. And if we put 2 discs in here, they will just one after the other continue to rotate through. So we've got a line to basically start the whole thing, and then we've got another line that once the race ends will stop it, which I can demonstrate by just activating that note block. That kicks it off, and then we can simulate the race ending here. And it just pulls it out. So basically, yeah, it's just using a hopper minecart to go underneath a jukebox to grab the disc out. Pretty smart way of doing it. But that's all installed now. I'll put a link in the description in case you guys want to check out how that was actually done. But that should solve our music issues. Don't look at my redstone, okay? I know I could have done it a lot cleaner. And I think I'll get a chance to prove to you guys how that disc is auto-repeating because I actually plan on doing a full test run here. Oh, this probably isn't going to go well, but I do kind of know where some of the shortcuts are, so that should definitely help. Using our new locker room here, making sure our spawn is set, and that it's not nighttime, of course. Should we min-max it with the respawn chamber? I suppose so. Oh, I did just realize I haven't restocked the pizza in the Ninja Turtle room. Do you think we can go without it? I'll just grab one extra slice to start the race here. I've got to restock the TNT. I've got to restock the pizza. There's a few things I need to do. Here, I'll take 2 slices. Sometimes there's 2 in there, but I just want to make sure I have enough here. Here goes nothing. Does take the music a little bit longer to start than before. I can't decide where to go. I'm already debating where to go. Oh, good. This is down. Nice. I'll take it. All right. I did say I wanted people to use this. So there you go. Right back on top. That's not bad. That's a pretty good start, actually. There we go. I haven't practiced this yet. Oh, yeah. It's harder. I got worse at this. Oh, no. All right, let's go through the shortcut. Let's try it. Why not? Oh, gotta go fast. Oh! Even with that, I wonder if this is still too easy to just bypass with the honey. I feel like, yeah, that was definitely probably faster than going the long way. I might put some cobwebs in that you have to force yourself through right there. That'd probably be smart. Good thing we're play testing this. You know, I'm going to do this just in case. I don't usually worry about the beds too much, but I will. All right, through here. I think I need to restock the wind charges on that. Yep. A lot of restocking to do before we open this thing up. Jump the slime. Perfect. Oh, I thought he was going to catch me. Oh, that was bad. Okay. Oh, somehow he didn't hit me. Nice. All right, typically we'd be picking up a slice or two right there. So, yeah, that's about right. All right, try the new parkour. No, fail. Oh, jeez. And then I went the hard way? Seriously? This is going to take a while to remember the new path. There we go. That's better. Ooh. Ooh, that's confusing. Okay, we'll just do the easy one. Apparently, I'm not feeling it today. Wind charges, of course. Oh, I don't know which way to go through there. That's definitely not the right way. All right. At some point, I got to eat here real soon. Come on. Didn't get our souvenir. Jump, jump, jump! Yes, nailed it. All right, we're gonna take the shortcut through the pipe here. Up, up. Perfect. Oh, you gotta do a little crouching action. Don't fall. Let's see. Oh, I thought I missed that. Pop. Oh, I did miss that. Dang it. Okay, this might be a good time to eat. That is a tough jump. At least for me. There we go. Was just jumping a little too early. Up the ladder. Another time we could eat here. Now, I don't know which way I want to go here. I know this is a new way. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll take it. I don't know why I even bothered. I don't know why I bothered trying that. I knew I wasn't going to hit it. I should have at least gone right. See? Old habits die hard, and that's what's going to get a lot of players at first, I think. All right, we'll go through false this way. I'm not going to try the shortcut. I'm too scared of it. Even this is scary. Oh, man, what do we do here? What do we do here? Fall to the bottom, I guess. Oh, no. Missed the first candle. There's no way I'm trying that water. All right, testing the system. Hopefully that just repeats the song now. We should hear it kick back off any second. Yes, perfect. Oh, my gosh. This run is terrible. Yeah, missing those candles is actually really brutal to have to do the full tree. Yikes. All right, that ladder is actually difficult if you don't go all the way to the top there. Oh. Gosh, I might max out my nuggets. This has gotten so much harder. Oh, all right, finally made it to the top of the tree. Definitely some parts in here that I want to practice because without making those shortcuts, it is a long race. All right, swimming down. All right, now we know we got to take this route. Probably went up a little bit higher than I needed to. Could have shaved a little bit of time off. All right, got to do Tango's parkour now. Oh, Tango. More parkour. It's not even that hard. I'm just bad. Okay, up on here. Don't worry about the fire. Skirt around. All right, I don't know where we need to start sneaking. That's going to be another trick learned. The gate's open right now, at least. Oh, what? What happened? I don't know what I triggered it with. I was crouched. Oh no, that's really costly. Still no Ravager in here, so I'm just gonna go the easy route. I'd like to get done before the song finishes twice. Here, we'll take a little shortcut here. Maybe, if I can figure out how to do it. Oh my gosh. That was the worst run ever. Hey, we finished before the song went off twice. Excellent. Oh no, what did we get? And the song stopped. Perfect. What is that? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 37. A far cry from my previous high score. It's definitely harder now, but I have a feeling in 2 weeks' time, we may be seeing sub 12s, sub 10s even. I don't know. I have no idea. What's your guys' prediction? Let me know in the comments. What do you think will be the new high score based off of what I just did? You saw I made many mistakes, and this is what I ended up with. Once they start getting the runs down perfect, what do you think's going to happen? I'd love to hear your predictions, because in 2 weeks' time, we'll find out who got closest. But other than just some restocking and a few little tweaks I want to make, this is ready to go. So it is going to be opening on Monday, September 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to be streaming the opening just like last time over on twitch.tv/impulseSV. If you guys want to join me, come on by and we'll start to see the Hermits figuring out the best way to get through this thing. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do that before you go. With that said, I'll see you again next time. Have a good one, everyone.